Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, and Greg. Now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Saving the world one bank account at a time. It is the Big B Show from the Loft 100 Studios, beautiful Southern California. Costa, Mary Godwin, Greg Todorov.
Boy, wow.
Oh, I like that. I like those. I like the pause for effect.
Thank you, Mary Godwin.
Yeah, right. Aren't you? Sweet. We have a full house finally. Aren't you leaving now?
Yeah.
This is your last show?
Dude. That's it.
Where are you going?
Oh, I told you. This is my last
You in
show.
Cincinnati? You're just saying that to make us feel good. Where are you going to?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Exactly. Are you going to Cincinnati?
Going to Cincinnati?
In the summertime.
In the summertime. Yeah. You got to wait until it's as hot as it can possibly be.
Like in October.
No. That's not.
You want to go
right.
when you can.
You
got
got to
the
go.
air.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you
95 degrees.
Going to have a little
humid.
spaghetti and chili while you're there?
Oh, I probably will go four-way bean.
Is that called a chili size? Isn't that called a chili size?
Is it what?
Four-way
Four-way?
bean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's four-way bean?
Four-way, you could choose your beans or your onions. I go bean.
What are we talking?
Five-way is beans and onions.
Skyline Chili is famous
Skyline
in
Chili.
Cincinnati. They
Cincinnati
eat
style
chili on spaghetti noodles and then add a bunch of different accoutrements.
So you can have chili
That's right.
on spaghetti.
I didn't know it was French.
Yeah.
Stay awake for many days after you have
Chili on spaghetti doesn't sound bad.
No, it's delicious.
It's phenomenal.
It's really good.
Do you know what's also good? Gravy on pancakes.
What?
Why would that be odd? What are the ingredients of a pancake?
Flour, egg,
what's the
sugar,
ingredient of a biscuit?
Flour, baking soda.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. Really amazing.
Like white breakfast gravy, sausage gravy.
No,
right?
turkey gravy. Any gravy. Any one of your blood. It's one of your 4 food groups. So
It is, obviously.
So this gravy is, by the way.
Yeah.
Pancakes is another one. So you just add the two together. Howie Font, our entrepreneur, joins us straight from New York City. I just got to spend the weekend with Howie in Greenwich, Connecticut.
And you're still walking?
What a
Did you drive or did you drive?
What a different part of the country.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Green. Exactly what you think. Lawns the size of football fields.
That's right.
Yep.
Massive, just trees everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's 1,000 years old, but it's definitely not San Diego. Right. Now, got a chance to go across Long Island Sound.
Ooh.
Which is a big, huge body of water.
Yep.
Still not like the Pacific Ocean. It was completely different. Howie, great to see you, sir. What's going on in the stock market today?
Yeah, great to see you as well. And yeah, Greenwich, no sidewalks. They don't want you there.
Yeah, that's right. There was no sidewalks. That's
Really?
right.
They're nice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
they don't want you to
and I
walk
don't think we
around.
were on a freeway even one time. Like there was
You go from a state to a state, I think is the deal.
Yeah.
You're just driving by them. There's no room for walking on the sidewalk.
No, but
Maybe biking.
it's exactly probably what's in your mind's eye if you've ever been to Connecticut. It's that thing where there's the big lawns going down to the water, and every house is 8,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, I didn't see any in Greenwich anyway, any suburbia looking anything. I didn't see a normal size house even one time there. It was ridiculous. Hey, the market, we had an exciting start to the month. Then we had a very scary piece of a correction, as they call it. And now August is reverting back to a big snoozer again. So talk about what's happening there. Is this just a typical summertime thing? Because that yen carry trade from Japan kind of threw us for a loop for a couple days, but it seems like we're back to normal again.
Yeah, the recovery from the carry trade was actually pretty illustrative of how much money on the sidelines there is. I mean, when we have the volatility of going from 5,600 in the S&P down to 5,200, and then now we're back to 56.
Well, that's less that's less than half than it was even before that. I mean, the volatility is dropping like a tummy tuck on a plus size model, I like to say.
That's right. Volatility being just how quickly the price moves up and down. That's exactly right. Has been cut in half. I mean, we're kind of back to boring. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell people. The big news, I would say, is there's still over $6 trillion, a record amount of cash that's being kept on the sidelines. So if you imagine what people are going to do when, there's an opportunity.
Well, it's going to come back in a couple of weeks anyway. Howie, stay right there because I want to talk about the S&P. And there's a lot of money on the sidelines, as they say.
Yeah.
Trillions.
Wherever you are watching, wherever you're listening, we always appreciate you being along for the ride. That is the Big Biz Show. Costa, Mary Godwin, Greg Todoroff, Captain Finance himself, Sully. Always glad you guys are with us. Hey, that's what the big voice guy says. Man, I'm just following the script there, kid.
Howie Font still with us from New York. Great to have you on the program today. So there's a ton of money on the sidelines, right? I mean, this is everything happening here tells us there's proof that investors are ready to pounce on any weakness. But keep in mind, we talk about investors ready to pounce. We're not talking about Johnny Lunchbucket and Cindy CEO. We're talking about institutions, aren't we? Are we not?
No, we are. We're talking about every level, people that are invested in government treasuries, things that are usually designed to stay in cash, so high institutional grade bonds. These have a lot of volume right now, and it's because, well, it could be for two reasons. One, we're waiting for a correction and we want to pounce on the market, like you said, or two, we really have a lot of fear and we don't have a lot of confidence in this market. So it's a little of both.
Plus, we have a little thing called an election coming up, which probably will go one way or the other. Market will also go one way or the other. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Markets, interest rates are moving in the right direction, finally. And of course, mortgage rates follow the long bond, not the short interest rate, not short term. And we're seeing mortgage rates drop for the first time in a long time. That brings us to talk about real estate. First of all, are you anywhere near refinancing your house yet? What would the percentage have to be for you to consider?
Oh, it would have to be low.
In the twos?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. How about you?
Yep.
How about cashing in on a high real estate market now, selling your place, Mary, cashing in on dough, and moving into something smaller? The girls are heading off to college. Sock some of that money away, put it in the stock market. Any thought of that?
At least it's pretty small already.
But still, I mean, does it cross your mind?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
What have you?
Yeah, it's being talked about right now in my household.
Because you're down to your dinks, dual income, no kids, right?
Right, and we have a 252-month-old living with us, and as soon as he's gone, we one bed. I always tell him one bedroom.
252-month-old living with us. Is he? How old is he? How old is that?
He just turned 22.
22 is about the time you get the boot.
Yeah, thank you.
That faded hope and change poster in their bedroom.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Nudge him out of the nest, right?
Exactly.
Hang in there.
You got to fly, buddy.
Crows do it.
Yeah,
we got
it. Time to fly.
Howie, you and I were talking. Howie sent me an email that said he texted me about a phone call that was about to happen.
Oh, boy,
we'll talk about that in a minute. Saying that about, 8 or 9% of U.S. homes, total U.S. homes, are now worth more than $1 million. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a higher share of the housing market than has ever been the case. Pre-2008 housing crisis included in that. And it just is a good way to show how much inaffordability there is in the system. And
well, wait a second. Wait. The 800 pound,
be affected by interest rates.
The 800 pound gorilla in the room is why? Yeah. It's inventory, right? It's inventory. There's an inventory problem driving prices. But I don't know that inventory matters. If your price is so high that people can't afford it, then it really is what the market will bear. I was talking to Marty Gellin-Stubbs, who's our real estate expert here in the program. The #2 real estate agent in the country, by the way, happens to be here in San Diego. Her and her mother, Maxine Gellin-Stubbs. Berkshire Hathaway, by the way, don't sponsor the program. Maybe you should get on that. But the long story short is, I said, so what's my place worth? She goes, I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? You sold me the house. You sold me 4 houses. No. Until you put it on the market, you don't know what your house is worth.
Right.
So I'm wondering, Howie, is when you talk about the record homes being worth $1 million, that means they're selling for more than $1 million now? Or that's just what the appraised value is? Because I think that's two very different things.
Yeah, no, it's an important distinction. It's definitely based off appraised value. This is the S&P housing survey that's brought in this data. So it's going to be based off some home sales, but it is going to take one home sale in one neighborhood and give similar values to the whole neighborhood.
What is a luxury home defined as? Is that anything above $2.5 million? Is that what I hear? Something like that?
Well, definitely in San Diego, and we can get into the ranking.
But just like with the IRS, small businesses or businesses making less than $25 million a year, they consider a small business. Is there a designation for median luxury home and what that price would be? Because now I know that it's above.
It's not based on price. It's based on a combination of year built, square footage, and rooms.
Well, that Charles Bronson trailer park in Carlsbad's looking pretty good right now.
Oh yeah.
Charles Bronson was the first actor to buy real estate, and he bought it on a bluff in Carlsbad, California, just in North County, San Diego.
Yep.
And he sold it literally in 1975 for close to $50 million.
No
Oh
way.
gosh.
Now, what is
Now it's a
$50 million in
trailer park?
1975?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Because he bought it in 1961.
He was a
Bill
great
Gates.
actor too, though, when you think.
He was
about
Charles
it.
Bronson?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
full of emotion.
Yes.
More. Look, in fact, I think here's my imitation. This is what he looked like. My fist.
Let's make another death wish.
No, let's make another death wish. The Bears. He was the first actor that had a Chicago or Detroit accent. Oh, did you snort?
I think so.
All right. Hey, real quickly, Howie. Before I let you out of here, what is the mortgage rate now? I know that they're talking about mortgage rates potentially below 6% by January, but that puts us what, at 6.5, 6.3 right now?
That's exactly right. The 30-year mortgage is 6.5. 15 is 5.5.
So where is the most expensive city to live in? I'm going to guess New York, LA, or San Diego.
You're not off. I'm cheating a little bit here to give the advantage to the home team for me, but Manhattan, New York, technically separate zone. Manhattan is the most expensive with an average housing price of $2.7 million.
What does that get you
Yeah,
in New York?
apartments.
In
All apartments.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
What does that get you when you go to Manhattan for $2.7 million?
You know those twin beds that kind of fold in
No,
half?
seriously. No, is it an apartment? Is it a single family dwelling? Manhattan doesn't have single family dwelling, so it's an apartment, right?
Well, it's definitely an apartment. It's probably a good size one-bedroom condo.
Oh my God.
For 2.7 mil.
A walk up.
What's the cheapest place to live?
Cheapest place to live, by
On the
contrast,
street?
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne,
is
Indiana.
In 2024, and their average housing price is about $175K.
And that's for a 5,000 square foot house with a field house, a separate garage, and also plenty of land.
Our buddy Nick Hardwick, who used to play for the Chargers.
Yeah, lived in
Nick
Fort Wayne.
finally bounced back to not Fort Wayne, but Indianapolis, and everybody now is moving to Indiana.
Live from the Love 100 Studios in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The
Here we
studios
go.
are the size,
Yeah.
the studio's the size of a Costco. Thank you, Howie. Appreciate
Do
it.
it.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, my
Howard
God.
Font, of course, is our entrepreneur. Okay, I brought up something.
Yeah, he
Pet peeve of
big
mine.
no-no, man.
What?
Oh, I heard when you said what he did to you, and
Right.
all of us went, uh-oh.
Listen, so when I get an email, when you get an email, don't you see who else is on the email?
Yeah.
Like I say, it's not just to me, from whom all blessings flow. It's not calling me sir, just call me Admiral.
Yes.
It says James East, Sully, Mike, Greg. I get a forward message from somebody. Hey, just wanted to see this. I'm on the email.
Okay, wait. This is
Do this
me,
all the
and
time.
I'm gonna look it up to
Okay,
see.
look it up. Okay,
if
now,
this-
but that's not the worst of it. The
No.
worst is
Here it comes.
The worst is when I get an email. No, I get a text saying sent you an email,
Yep.
and then a phone call saying, "Did you get it?"
Yeah.
I mean, if you let someone waste 10 minutes of your day, or if you waste 10 minutes of your day every single day, how many hours a year is that? 61 hours a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 minutes. So that means if you got to call MasterCard today,
Right.
or you have to call the utility today,
Yeah.
and then again tomorrow, I mean, that goes into your 61-hour bank. I guarantee we waste more than 10 minutes a day.
Where are you on the text saying, hey, I'm going to call you?
Squarely on his throat.
Wait.
Where do you stand on what?
The text saying, hey, I'm going to call you in a
Well, listen. If there's a pre agreed look,
yes.
I'm going to be busy. I'll send you a text when I'm ready.
Sure.
That's
That's
it.
good. Yeah, yeah.
But hey, calling you like
What
I gotta go back in time.
What about notification silence, but you get the message anyway?
I figured out how to do that. First of all, my phone's never on.
Right,
Okay?
I know.
And you don't put. And when you hit the do not disturb on the iPhone,
Yeah.
don't put it on personal work. Put it on do not disturb. It's silent. I even got to the point where I have no text message alerts. See that? I probably got 50 text messages. It's not even showing up.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
So if I'm not answering,
Right.
it's because I what's the word I'm looking for? Don't want to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Right.
So Mary, did you look it up?
Oh well, no.
Oh,
I
see,
gotta take
of
it.
course you-
Let me need a commercial break because I need to dig deep. But I'm pretty sure I'm
I
right.
constantly get emails from Mary. Hey, just in case you didn't see this.
Yeah.
For example,
Want to
Wait,
run this
I
by
can
you
show
one
you
more
several.
time?
I don't do it if I look to see if you're. I'm not dumb.
not always. Not always.
I'm gonna prove my point.
Yeah, eventually.
Band's gonna get my back.
Do you know who the greatest communicator is in terms of my style is? Either you, James, or Brian, who doesn't even return my calls. So I'm not kidding. No, the point is, Greg and I talk 1,000 times a day. Mary and I talk 1,000 times a day. James and I have a very, very efficient way of communicating.
Yep.
When we talk, it's because we want to hang out together.
Sure.
Business stuff is like, here's a show, that's it.
Yeah. I have learned from you the least amount of words possible, get to the point, and then don't.
Do I say goodbye?
Gotta be concise.
Do I say bye on the phone? Do I say goodbye?
No, see it.
I don't know,
I'll talk
but
to you
in
later.
movies they never do. Do you ever notice this?
Yeah.
They never say goodbye on TV.
Somebody accused me of not saying goodbye on the phone recently.
No, you've always said, hey, I'll talk to you later. That's what you say to me all the time.
Come on. Goodbye.
No, this is mine.
You do say goodbye.
It's 3 syllables.
Yeah, you say that.
How do you spell it?
After the commercial break, I'm gonna
I-K-A-B-A-A.
show this to you.
E-H-K-B-E-H-K. You're watching wherever you're listening,
Or
some of
arguing.
you are listening on the American Forces Network. To all the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what you do, what you've done for us, we always salute you. Costa, Mary Burt Godwin, our executive producer Greg Todorov, and Sully.
Let me read you something.
Uh-oh.
We just have to our next guest, Corey Perlman, who's social media keynote speaker. I love this guy. I would like him to come to the studio,
Super
but
smart.
He barely takes our calls. So, but when he is going, let me see. Where did I find this stuff? Damn it! Oh, I know where it is. Look at this. So our song "Liars" that was released 2 weeks ago, something like that.
August 1st.
It's August 1st. This is what we have. We got Spotify streams, listener saves. Our streams per listener, 6,500. 2 is the average.
Woo-hoo!
Save rate. 78.4%.
That's huge.
10% is average.
That's huge.
Wow.
And the skip rate is huge.
Skip rate. You know what skip rate is?
No, I don't.
I don't like this song.
Yeah.
Skip. Oh.
Ours is 13%. Average is 20.
Which is great.
55% of streams are from collections. What does that mean?
I do not.
Playlists.
People making playlists.
So so this is from the label, and here's from the Star Maker machine.
Mm-hmm.
Without exaggeration or hype, the data is amazing. If we have this data when we hit 500,000 streams, get ready for an explosion.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
And I mean,
prepare yourselves.
Do you have like demographic, age, stuff like that? Or
yeah,
is it-
yeah, ladies 75 to 95 years old.
No, it's 35 to 44.
Is it really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No kidding.
I was very surprised by that.
All right, very good.
Awesome. Love it.
So that's of course the new
Congratulations.
single by the band Sullivan. Don't know who they are. Don't know what they look like.
And they did not buy a vowel.
They did not.
Do you know why they
Only
did that?
one.
Do you know why
Except
they
for
did that?
you.
Do you know why they did that? Because they couldn't find social media that said SullivanMusic.com, Sullivan Instagram. So they started,
so they had to get
they started
creative.
flicking letters.
That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly right. Corey Perlman is the social media keynote speaker of the day. He's one of our favorite guests, of course. He's owner of Impact Social Media. Corey, so if you were a band with a label deal and kind of a high profile that was going out there that was just scratching the surface after 2 weeks, what would your next step be? How do we get out there to the people? And it doesn't have to be music. It could be anything, right? It could be a new product. It could be Mike's new suntan oil called Band to Mike A. Or what was it? Sweetest Mikey's Tanning Secret. Remember that? So as far as brands go, Corey,
Yes.
it's almost like when someone does a podcast. Hey, listen to my show. Podcasts are like Wayne's World in the garage. Just because you put it out there doesn't mean people are listening. Just because you put a brand out doesn't mean people are seeing it. What's the secret here? How can social media be the catalyst to that? Because I sort of think there's a secret sauce here.
Agreed. First of all, Sully, I will always take your call. Just want to clear that right now.
That's because I
Second
never
of all-
call them. That's
Second
easy.
of all, I will be out there. I'm making plans to come out there.
You
so
need to
just
get
so
here.
you
We need a
know,
whole hour with you.
I'll be there.
And that's not even on the
okay.
show. That's just for advice. We'll talk about the show later. What do we do?
I'm happy to participate. You guys are so much fun. I would say, the first thing that comes to mind is UGC, which is user-generated content. It's getting your listeners, the people who love you, your ambassadors, to talk about you on social. That's what spreads the That's what spreads the fire quickly, and that's what you'll get you guys from 15,000 or 50,000 to 100,000 downloads in no time.
What's the one thing I hate to do?
Be on camera.
Yeah,
Aside from this, talk on camera directly.
But I'll tell you, let me tell you what it works, because I see guys like Billy Joe from Green Day, who never even knew what the guy even sounded like, is now doing stuff on social. I'm seeing like rock stars, Dave Grohl, for example.
Oh, yeah.
When we were kids and we bought albums, we saw what the liner notes were. We didn't know what their houses looked like. We didn't know what they had kids or anything else. Obviously, this is something. Is it because of the way people are consuming advertising and media? And again, I'm going back to these music things just because that's what I'm closest to. But when you think in terms of branding, is it because of the way we consume advertising these days that it's almost okay to pull the covers back a little bit and take that fourth wall out?
I absolutely love you just said that, Sully. Yes, 1,000%. My book is called Authentically Social for a reason. It's the era that we're in right now. The more you can be yourself behind the brand, bring your perspective, your passion to everything that you do, the more that will resonate with your audience. So be authentically social is what I always tell people.
Corey Perlman, owner of Impact Social Media Inc., also a social media keynote speaker. CoreyPerlman.com and ImpactSocialMedia.com is where you can find him.
Hey, Corey, I was doing a little deep dive on your social media too, and I saw a recent post you were talking about, which is in line with this concept of being authentic, but you know, how businesses should be, and even rock stars or whoever, talking with their audience instead of selling at their audience, which is part of this, you know, getting the camera and showing them your home and talking with them. So can you talk a little bit about that and how businesses can do that?
Yeah, you know, it's people don't want, you know, to be sold, but they love to buy, is that old adage. And so feeling like we are a part of the process, a part of the experience, whether, like you just said, maybe in the real estate world, it's taking people behind the scenes, it's seeing who you are. There's a million real estate agents out there, but there's only one you, and you got to bring that to the surface. So if you're funny, be funny. If you're enthusiastic, be enthusiastic. If you're not funny, though, don't be funny. You
know, Corey, one of the things Mike and I do have a question real quick, but Mike and I have seen throughout the years, and I think Greg has too, just being in radio and television, is that when people get on camera, they act like they think they are seeing on camera. Hey, everybody, we'll be back. Hey, you all. Some of the things that we never have said on air, like we'll be right back, that was said on TV in the 50s. You'd never signal a break ever because you want people listening longer. You'd never say you all because I'm driving the car. What do you mean we? Why do you say you all? I mean, it's just me driving in my car together. I remember Cliff Albert, our program director, one time when I was in a team show. Remember that movie with Tom Hanks and he was shipwrecked? Yeah. Was it called Shipwrecked?
Yes. Yeah. No.
Castaway. Remember the volleyball Wilson?
Yes.
Then they used to sell those volleyballs with the Hannah. He would set the volleyball in the corner and say, "Talk to Wilson."
Talk to Wilson.
So how can people in brands? I'll let you ask your questions. Might be the same one. How do people in brands? How do you communicate? You need to put a media thing together, because I see so many people losing me in the first 5 minutes when they're trying to sell me. Hey, sure to like and follow. I'm out.
5 seconds.
Yeah. What am I, an idiot?
Right.
Hey, by the way, Corey, your website is https://www. Hey, Mom, it's just impactsocialmedia.com, right?
Yeah, right.
Talk about, there needs to be some resources out there, because there's a lot of wasted money and space from people thinking that they're reaching me and they're not reaching me.
I totally agree. Again, everything you said was inauthentic in terms of what they were trying to do. You got to be yourself. Let me give you one quick tip that will help people be more themselves. Capture instead of create. And what I mean by that is, instead of coming on camera and trying to do something new, capture what's already going on. So the behind the scenes, what's happening to make the sausage, so to speak, that's the stuff that you want to film. That's natural, that's easy for people to gather, and it's super organic.
Hey, Corey, there's a recent phenomenon of a Spanish model, and she removes her undergarments wherever she is, and she just leaves them there, be it a table, a supermarket,
where's this exactly?
A hospital, whatever, and she films, and she's on TikTok. And that's just what she does. She's famous for doing that. Are we getting to the point where people are just going to say, hey.
You're talking about shock. You're talking about shock and awe.
Shock and awe. I'm just going to light myself on fire and we'll see what happens. Are we getting to that with TikTok and shock videos?
God, I hope not. But yeah, there's always the saying that if you shock and awe is the way to get viral, and that's probably sure. You could start breakdancing, and that'll get you going viral. So,
hey, Mike, you probably might cancel your OnlyFeet account if you want. Corey Perlman is his name. Social media keynote. Man, we need you for a whole hour, buddy. Every time we get in studio, we always talk about the same thing. His website, impactsocialmedia.com, otherwise known as HTTPS.
From the Loft 100 studios in sunny and right now very, very hot Southern California, it is the Big Biz Show. Thanks for being with us today. Mike Costa, Mary Burt Godwin, our executive producer Greg Todoroff way over there, and the guy right there in the middle is Sully.
And a first-round pick, 2003 Green Bay Packers.
Look out.
Full rig in the house right here.
Oh, yeah. He just hangs out front. I figure, he's looking for an autograph from Mary, so I said, let him in the freaking building. Right. Let's go.
Right. I was stalking this building for weeks.
That there is a 95% correlation in business success and participation in high school and college sports, meaning that's why I make the medium bucks, because I was in chess team.
There you go. There you go.
No, Nick, great to have you along, and you are now a co-founder of the Praxis Elite Sports Academy Junior Prep. That's a big long name, but really what it is, it's supporting young people in sports, right? Talk about your business for a second.
Man, we basically, it's a middle school for athletes, or people that want to be more athletic focused. We do a lot of different things there, curriculum-wise, mental toughness.
I can't hear what you're saying because of this ring. Mike, can you help?
Sorry.
Can you help?
We're trying to work on them to get one of these things. Right?
What is that?
Super Bowl champions with the Green Bay Packers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl 40 XLV.
XLV.
Continue.
There we go. We don't know Roman numerals.
Proceed.
You don't teach that at Praxis.
Yeah, we don't teach that, right?
Awesome Packers team, and it was a really, really good, close Super Bowl. It wasn't one of those blowouts. So, and they absolutely earned that one.
Obviously, your life is different because of sports. Obviously, you played professional sports. Had you not stepped on a baseball field, basketball court, football field, track, whatever, when you were a kid, and just stuck to whatever life gave you without sports, what do you think life would be like for you?
Well, I mean, I like to think I'd still be okay, right? But I think that in football and all the sports that you mentioned, you learn a little bit about work ethic. You learn a little bit about adversity. Not that I needed any more lessons in that when I grew up, but it does give you opportunities to overcome and deal with challenges and compete, right? Like, we don't get a lot of that nowadays with what we're trying to teach our kids in school. It's, you know what I mean? We're teaching them not to compete. Not that I'm saying every school, but participation trophies,
Yeah.
giving those out, right?
Yep.
Like, I think it's awesome to participate, but at the same time, I'm teaching these kids how to win.
Oh,
We wanna
Second
win.
place is the first loser, Mary.
I'm down with that. I have a competitive spirit, so I'm down with that.
Matt Chess, who is what we call our chief of the boat here in the studio, who handles everybody in studio in terms of production assistants and basically young people, was a high school coach for I think 30 years before we hired him on. And the reason we hired him on is because you guys in high school are herding 400 kittens to a wheelbarrow every day.
Absolutely.
And with that, you start figuring out, okay, who's going to succeed, who's not going to succeed socially, educationally, intellectually. But then again, there's this idea in your head that says, you know what, I think I could turn the notch up here by forming Praxis Elite. So tell me, what was the tipping point? What made you do that?
Well, there's a lot of research on what you do when you get kids and how they turn out when they deal with that kind of adversity or when they're training. But really, if you think about what we do as parents, we're come home from work, we take our kids to go get trained, and then we take them to practice. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really get to spend time with your family.
Right.
If you get all that done while they're at school and you get them home, now you can all sit around the dinner table.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's really that element of it, right? And beyond that, like, sometimes I was taking my kid to go get trained by trainers who didn't know what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, why don't I just go ahead and build this where we could do this at school, we could get them trained, and, you know, I can head it, I can vest the trainers that we bring in, the teachers that we bring in. I know what we're looking for. We're looking for a competitive advantage. We're looking for teachers who are going to teach our kids how to, you know, compete, but also be a great teammate. You know, I mean, we teach financial literacy to our kids.
That's
like,
amazing.
you know what I mean?
You come over to my house and teach my
we're
kids.
grinding.
Wow.
We're trying to build
What's
these
the
kids.
age range of these kids? Oh, sorry.
Did you specialize? I mean, did you benefit from any sort of specialized training, making the jump from high school to Oregon State? Or were you just like, hey, you obviously had natural ability that a lot of other people didn't have to earn a scholarship, to go play in the Pac-10 and do what you did and then become a first-round draft choice in the NFL? There's something innate within you that allowed you to do it. But did you have any sort of specialized training?
I mean, I luckily had some really great coaches in high school in the area that I grew up in Fontana, California. Back then we used to call it Fontucky. There was not much out there, but
San Bernardino County.
Yes. But I had some great coaches. One of the guys who he made it to a practice squad for the Patriots, so he gave me a little bit of specialized coaching. I had an old school coach, John Tyree, who made me run track. I didn't know anything about track, but that's how I got faster, right? I ran the hurdles. He was like, son, you're running the hurdles. You're going to get faster. Quick, boom, I got faster. So coaches that cared about me, right? Like that actually spent time with me to try to make me a better player, make me a better person. And I just had a work ethic, honestly. That's really what it is. They saw that. They were like, oh, you want to work? Yeah. I got something for you to do. And that's, at the end of the day, no matter what kind of talent you have, no matter what kind of speed, height, weight, power you have, if you don't have work ethic, you don't have anything.
Nick, when you talk about a student or student athlete that goes through your program, talk about day one versus when they walk out of there, what they can expect and what you want to see growth-wise.
Every athlete is different when they come into our school. We do an assessment. We see how fast they are, see how tall they are. We do an educational assessment, just see where everybody's at, because we try to, we're a smaller school. I think our max number is 25 kids, so everyone gets kind of an individualized program built for athletics and academic, right? So I get kids that are too small, right? They want to get on, they want to put muscle mass on. I have a nutrition guy that comes in. We monitor everything. We do that kind of stuff. I got guys that are too big. They want to get a little bit smaller. It's the same thing. So everybody's individualized what we do,
Why couldn't you scale this and take this model into schools across the country? Because it seems like the one thing that's lacking is that there seems to be a one-size-fits-all coaching mentality. I don't care if you're in musical theater, I don't care if you're on the math team, or you're on the chess or the football team. If there's a one-size-fits-all mentality, but in reality, success comes down to one-on-one. Whether it's 5 minutes a month, a little bit of one-on-one makes a difference, right?
We would all love for that to happen, right? But when we look at what our school system is, right, we don't have enough teachers right now. We don't have enough. We're not paying our teachers enough money. We don't have enough help, really, to be honest with you, right? Like, so I think of my school, the high school that I coach at right now, they try to do a great job of relating to each kid, student, and athlete individually, and we try to do the best that we can, but we're understaffed everywhere.
But this model, it seems, if I were a parent and I had two volleyball girls that went all the way from 7 years old all the way through getting volleyball scholarships, and I remember what it was like playing in club sports and such, and they didn't have one-on-one training like that. Right. Had someone introduced me to that, and I had the resources to do it, I'd want the opportunity. What I'm saying is, wouldn't it make sense? And you're a guy that had a high school, and you definitely have girls in dance squads. You, of course, are going to have a professional surfer and you have a world-class horse rider, by the way. Right. But I mean, having those resources even introduced to us, don't you think it's a responsibility of the schools to say, hey, here's a company called Praxis Elite that can come in and we want to make this available to you just to open up the eyes? I mean, doesn't that make sense across the country?
I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, you guys find us on praxiselite.com. We will come and help you out.
This is a television program. Listen, we are blatantly promoting this.
Yeah.
1,000%. How do the kids apply to
they apply same way you do for it's a private school. So you apply and we either see if you fit our program or not fit our program. We haven't had a lot of non-fits, because if you're applying for this program, you know what you're signing up for. Right. You're not going there. You're coming there to work. We work. It's a grind, but it's a fun grind, man. We got 17 students coming in our school right now, and they are ready to work.
What's the day look like?
Yeah, what's a typical day?
Well, it's
push-ups, sit-ups, move it
up, downs. No, we get in there. I'm a firm believer and have done the research that if you work out early in the morning, the rest of your day, educational-wise, your mind is less cloudy. I was an ADD kid. You know what I mean? Your attention is better when you did some stuff already. When you done put some work in, you're in there, you're locked in, you're focused, right? You don't have those jitters anymore. So we work at 9 to about 10:15, and then it's the school session, then there's lunch, then it's another athletic session, which is more sports specific to what you do. If you're a lacrosse player, we have a lacrosse coach. If you're a football coach, we have a football coach. Basketball goes to basketball, those kind of things. So we'll get more sports specific in the afternoon work, come back, then we're into a mental program where it's either your goal setting, your leadership building, your whatever you need that we think is missing in your bag. We try to fill your bag so you go to the next level.
We need to get the word out on you need to be on 100 different shows because what I'm saying is there's no reason this needs to be as you guys know, you might be watching us on TV in New York City, you're listening to us in Baghdad on American Forces Network. We're in San Diego, California. This is a one city business. It could be a scalable business. Before I let you out of here, we want to have you back first of all. What about the American Idol person? Now, the reason I call this is that every person auditioning for American Idol is convinced they should be a star, okay? And all you need is enthusiasm. That's garbage, because enthusiasm without talent is an American Idol audition. What about the athlete that wants to get there, that isn't there yet? Is there a model for that? Is there a model for the kid that is like, okay, I didn't start the last 2 years. I'm big enough, I'm strong enough. I'm missing this link here. Yeah. Is there room for people like that?
That's what Praxis is. Whether you are a starting athlete, epic, elite athlete, or your kid. A lot of our kids came into our year not being the starter, left being the starter, left being the star player, not from talent, but from the work ethic and what they put in and did. You know what I mean? So that's what we're about.
Nick Barnett,
make sure we get our guys right. Yeah, anytime, baby.
Praxis Elite Sports Academy. Go to praxis.com. AXISelite.com. We'll put that up on the screen for you. Also, it'll be on our website. And we will tweet it out to our 100,000 social media followers. Nick, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Ow, damn it.
Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, our affiliates, and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any persons, or that investment in such securities would be profitable in general.
Given the nature of our company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for their securities, and investing is highly speculative and carries a high degree of risk. We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its host for the profile coverage.
3, 2, 1. From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stock if we are speaking about, interviewing, or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully. Duh.
And read the investor information available on the website.
On the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, at www.sec.gov.
Or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
It is the Big Biz Show. Some of you may call it the large financial program, but we call it the Big Biz Show. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we're in the Loft 100 Studios. I am Costa. She is Mary Burt Godwin. That guy right there is Greg Todorov. And of course, we got our main man, Sully.
Well.
Hello.
Great to have you on the show.
Boy, wasn't he impressive? Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, if you consider Chris Castillo looked up for me a key metric on here. It's 95% of entrepreneurial success is directly related to participation in sports or some other organized.
Yep.
And of course, it doesn't have to be sports. It could be theater. It could be dance. It could be, playing bass.
It's work ethic and teamwork, totally.
Could be
going through adversity.
Could be bass playing. Couldn't it, James?
That's right.
Okay, Sam Wilson is back. He's the CEO of a company called 8x8. Stock symbol EGHT. Great guy. Love having this guy in there. In fact, a good friend of mine who runs and founded Mellon, the baseball caps that we wear.
Absolutely.
Saw him on our show and said, hey, I'm one of their clients. And he's got several clients. Sam Wilson, I give you as the CEO of the company once again. Sam, how are you, sir? Good to see you, man.
Sully, I'm absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much. And by the way, I would add, besides sports, I'm a veteran. So
are you really?
Military also does a good job of that also.
Well, God bless our military men and women serving our country overseas and underway, because we are also on American Forces Network, formerly called AFARTS, which is American Forces Radio Television Services, which I know you're familiar with, Sam. Hey, Sam, take us through, if you would, 8x8 once again, because now we are in Bloomberg, Financiero in Mexico. We're heading to Bloomberg EU, along with BizTV and all of our other affiliates who haven't heard your story yet. Talk about what you guys are doing.
Okay, we're a next generation telecommunications company, right? So business communications. We do voice, video, and chat for employee collaboration, contact center. We've got AI bots that will take payments through self-service and translate 32 languages. We do SMS messaging. We do WhatsApp messaging. So if you get an appointment that says, a reminder that says, hey, don't miss your appointment today at 1 o'clock, that might have come through our system, that sort of thing. So we're a business communication system.
Talk about, so if a client, talk about from A to Z, a client experience, for example, when they engage you guys, if they, and I realize it's sort of a menu option sometimes, but what's a typical experience like when a client comes on board with you folks?
So typically a client starts, and I would say the most common today is a digital transformation project. Pre-pandemic, it used to be, hey, we're moving to a new building, but that's kind of gone away. So it's digital transformation. So I'm a regular person, a regular business owner, and I want to transform my company into the digital age. And so you come to a company like ours and you say, okay, first what we're going to do is we're going to add new phone system into all our employees and give them, meetings and all those other things. And then we're going to add a digital contact center. And then we're going to start the magic. So we'll put the foundation in place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do things like, do you communicate with your employees by SMS messaging? Do you remind them? What drives your business success? So let me try to put this in more of a finer tune for your audience. Imagine you're a field service company. You run plumbers, because we have a great very large national plumbing company as one of our customers. We send out a message that reminds the person that their appointment is today. They saw a significant reduction in the number of missed appointments, which allowed the average utilization per truck roll to go up significantly, which lets them make more money. And we did that by adding automated SMS reminders into their workflow. That's easy. We do it all day long. We also have now video.
And it's an enterprise-wide solution for that customer that can add on also, correct?
And by the way, and we do that for small businesses. We do it for mid-market. We do it for enterprise. It used to be just United Airlines could do that. Now we can do it for any size. Your friend at Mellon, we do it for him.
Sam Wilson, the CEO of 8x8, ticker symbol EGHT.
Hey, Sam, I love when I get those text messages that are reminders, because I'm so busy and I put it in my calendar, but I'll forget. But are your businesses seeing an increase in customer retention with those types of things? And can you speak to all your tips for customer retention? Because that's a huge thing.
Absolutely. So it's a win-win, right? Because if you miss an appointment, you're upset because you had a problem you needed fixed, your plumbing isn't working, and you just spaced it off by accident or you missed it, whatever it can be. And the plumbing service loses because they either they charge you a fee for missing an appointment, which is a crappy thing to do. I was going to use another word, but I stopped myself, which is a crappy thing to do. Or they let it go, in which case they lost money. And so it's a win-win. And absolutely, we see people that adopt digital solutions and adopt sort of next generation business communications see radically improved customer satisfaction, radically improved customer retention. And why does that matter? Higher customer loyalty means more revenue in the door. It's really that easy.
The interesting part of this is there isn't a business, big or small, that can't benefit from this thing. Have you guys decided to also focus on the Subway sandwich guy on the corner, or the consultant, or even the dry cleaner, or is it just bigger businesses that benefit?
No. We'll do. So actually, the area will do anything from one person Soho up to about 20,000 employees. Once we get above 20,000 employees, once you get to the Fortune 500, that's a bit of a world. We can play in that space. Our products work there, but it's not our specialty.
His name's Sam Wilson, and his specialty is what?
Enterprises. Business communications and enterprises.
Hey, man, we got to get you in studio. Come on. We need you more often here. I need more Sam Wilson on my show.
I'll be down in San Diego. I'll come see you. And if you play Magnum PI as a lead out, I'll always come see you every time.
Okay. Magnum PI as a lead out. Done. Going forward. Big Biz Show. BigBizShow.com. We'll see you tomorrow.